October 10, 2023. It's a Tuesday. Good morning to all of you, and thank you for joining us here on your program, Your Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, your host, and we just want to say maraming salamat po for being Cignal TV subscribers, and of course, those of you who watch us via Facebook and YouTube, thank you as well. And also those who watch on the Cignal Play app. Malaking bagay po sa amin yan. And as always, we thank PLDT for their home fiber optic internet. Mr. Marco Borlongan, good morning sa imo. Today, we are going to tackle something that you may have been a victim of. Because doon po sa amin, sabi nga ni Congressman Manik Manaog, Leo Martinez, doon po sa amin, nauso na sa Batangas, at least in Lipa, many people have been getting this message on their cell phone to the effect that we hate to disturb you, kinalulungkot naming gambalain kayo, but your personal details as well as your telephone number was provided by Mr. So-and-so. If you know this individual, he shared your personal details while borrowing money from us, etc., etc. We are going to discuss this new spam, scams, and do you need a loan? Yan po, araw-araw natatanggap na natin, do you need a loan? Parang magtataka na kayo how these people get all of this information, and should you just delete, block, or should you say wala bang interest, or guguluhin nyo? Because some people pinagtitripan po yan. Anyway, that's our discussion for today, our topic for discussion, and we will be speaking to experts on the matter. But for the meanwhile, let us go to our daily starter. It's very short, but very important, and it comes from the TV series or TV show Unstable. Okay, maganda po siyang program. And it goes, every villain has an origin story. Okay? Lahat ng kontrabida may pinagmulan ang kanilang pagkakontrabida. Every villain has an origin story, and it is not to justify the villainous deed or kawalangyaan ng isang tao, but the reality is people are not manufactured or conceived to be villainous or to be kontrabida or to be bad. But many times, many people turn bad, go the wrong way because they were not brought up the right way. And let me point this out to the parents, okay? Bringing up your children the right way is not simply about discipline. Not simply about being strict, not simply being about, controlling or having fixed rules, okay? Bringing up children is as much about your presence, your love, your encouragement, your motivation. The same thing goes not just for children, but also for young adults and adults, even for companies. There are people who commit crime, corporate crimes. There are people who steal from companies, not because they started out as thieves when they were kids, but sometimes revenge na laang because they were also maltreated. So every villain has an origin story, and sabi nga ni Lord, he who is without sin cast the first stone. So that's our daily starter. Let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star. And unfortunately, the headline of the Philippine Star for today, 10/10/23, 7 Pinoys feared, held by Hamas. Yan po, okay? As you might already know, there is a war in Israel against the Hamas terrorist group, and that is now the situation there. And the Philippine embassy and all the authorities are trying to find ways and means. First, to find out who was abducted, where they were brought, and what can be done to retrieve or recover them. Okay. Yan pong malaking photo na yan, that is the outcome of the war, ongoing war there. And the United States has sent warships close to their ally Israel. And you might be wondering, why is the United States sending warships? Well, mabuti nang pumwesto sila doon. Better that they are in position to discourage other adventurers, other people who might want to send further ammunition, weapons, etc. to the wrong people and cause greater damage. So, yun po. The United States has sent its Gerald Ford warship, the biggest, the most modern, and it's backed up by several other ships. Okay, now, meanwhile, at the top of the front page, BBM suspends LTFRB chief over corruption allegations. Yun, si Chairman Alberto Guadis, I think it's if I'm not mistaken, oh no, not Alberto, sorry. Teofilo Guadis III. Ewan ko ba't ko nasabing Alberto. Chairman Teofilo Guadis III was suspended following allegations that huge sums have to be paid to process transactions in his office, and a former head executive assistant named Jeffrey Gallos Tumbado is the one who essentially leaked the information and the claim na ayun na nga po ay nagkaka-corruption by the millions at the LTFRB. And that is worth investigating because even Grab drivers and Grab vehicle owners are complaining na talaga daw merong lagayan at hingian. Anyway, going back to that Israel event, this might give our viewers a better appreciation. Israeli dance party survivors recount attack. The thousands of young Israelis had spent the night dancing at an outdoor rave, many clad in tie-dye t-shirts and crop tops. But the morning brought with it a massacre. Just after dawn on Saturday, hundreds of Palestinian militants bulldozed their way through the barricades between Gaza and Israel, drove into scores of Israeli towns and the border, and sped through the farmland where the rave was reaching its sunrise climax. The militants gunned down more than 100 ravers, party po yan, dance party, and kidnapped others as they spirited through the open fields, according to two senior Israeli officials. Okay? They left approximately 260 bodies in that one area alone. So yun po, that is what happened. You know, the militants simply broke through the barricades and just wreaked havoc and terror and mayhem and murder. Meanwhile, here in the Philippines, phones, computers, preferred tools of bank robbers according to the Department of Justice. Hindi na raw po bareta, maso at saka baril, ginagamit na nila phones, computers to rob banks and bank accounts, etc. But the DOJ has only an allocation of 475,000 for intelligence fund. Kaya punta sa mga politiko eh. Okay, yan. Meanwhile, Bianca posts career best joint second finish in US. Bianca Pagdanganan of the Philippines watches her approach shot on the 18th hole during the final round of the LPGA. Yan po. So, naka-second finish po ang Bianca Pagdanganan. Meanwhile, the Secretary of Information Communications, Ivan Jan Uy, said be proactive versus cyber hacking. Okay. Government, private sector urge. Okay, yan po. That is in lieu of the successful Medusa ransomware attack on State Universal Healthcare Insurer PhilHealth. Medyo mainit na po sa mundo ni Secretary Uy and certain government officials because it has become clear that they have not prioritized cybersecurity. Maganda sana kung nakikita natin yung action nila. Anyway, J. Renz Kilario, aka Senior Aguila, head of the Bayanihan Services Group, is escorted from the Department of Justice building in Manila yesterday after attending a preliminary hearing on complaints of abuses allegedly committed by the group. Okay. At wala po yan po, SAS, dahil hindi pa naman nakakasuhan yata. Okay. Gas prices. Nako, ako naduling. I bought yesterday. I should have waited today. Gas prices cut by 3 pesos. Diesel lower by 2.45. Oil companies are implementing hefty price rollbacks at the pumps today. In separate advisories yesterday, oil firms said prices would be slashed by 3 pesos 5 per liter of gasoline and 2 pesos 45 centavos per liter of diesel and 3 pesos per liter of kerosene. Okay. Kakaiba yan po. Kakaibang lowering yan considering there's been a war, declaration of war in Israel. You would think prices would go up, but apparently they have gone down. Anyway, so that about covers the news. Let's now go for a quick break and we go to our conversation regarding all of the spam, scams, and annoying messages on our phones and what can we do about them here on Agenda.
The National Privacy Commission, or NPC, is urging the public to take extra caution amid the recent PhilHealth data breach. This comes after the NPC's initial analysis, which showed that a staggering 734 gigabytes worth of data from PhilHealth was leaked. The NPC said it already launched an investigation and had completed its initial analysis of 650 gigabytes of compressed files from the data dump claimed by a group called Medusa. In early October, the group claimed to have hacked into PhilHealth's computers and then stole the personal information of its beneficiaries, holding it for ransom worth $300,000 or around 17 million pesos. The data include name, address, birthday, sex, mobile number, and identification number. As part of its response, PhilHealth said it's currently in the process of notifying members who were affected by the leak. Let's discuss these further on today's agenda.
Art Samaniego Jr. is a cybersecurity advocate. He is also a news and business tech editor at the Manila Bulletin. Aside from this, Samaniego is also a lecturer in Colegio de San Juan de Letran.
Okay, Senior Art, hindi ko naman sasabihin professor, ano? Baka mamaya sabihin mo pinatatanda kita. But welcome to the program. Welcome back to the program, Art. How are you? How have you been?
Good. Thanks for having me again, Cito. Laging relaxed tong conversation sa program mo.
Okay, pero palagay ko hindi na re-relax yung mga kapitbahay natin na if you have to forgive me, I think I'm choking on my line here. But anyway, a lot of my neighbors in Lipa, and these are, hindi naman to yung mga private exclusive houses, no? Ito yung mga katropa sa barangay. And sabi nila, Kuyang, may natatanggap ka ba itong mga message sa ganito na yun daw kakilala namin na si ganito ganon ay binigay yung aming telepono, mga detalye, mga impormasyon namin at para umutang at ngayon kami yung ginugulo. We've heard about that in the past, but apparently now it's all over the place. Is it still about, online lenders harassing people? Or meron na naman bang gumagamit nitong style na ito?
So, ito pa rin yan yung mga online lending apps. Requirement kasi niyan, bago ka makautang, kailangan mong ibigay sa kanila yung access sa phone book mo. So, yung access sa phone book mo, ibig sabihin, pwede na makita kung sino yung mga kaibigan mo doon. At kung hindi ka nakapagbayad, lahat yung papadala nila ng message.
Okay.
Pero, violation to ng Data Privacy Act. Kaya seryoso ang NPC na tigilan tong mga to. Pinatawag na ng National Privacy Commission tong mga nirereklamo ng mga online lending apps na to. At
Okay.
ang SEC, ang dami nang napasara, napablock at napatanggal na sa Google Play saka sa App Store yung mga app na to because it's really abusive and violating our privacy.
Ang matanong ko, because my initial thought was, or reaction, was that all this sudden, number of, do you want a loan? This thing about online lenders harassing people. Sabi ko, teka, baka ito yung mga nakakuha ng data dun sa PhilHealth dahil nileak na raw yung ng Medusa. Some or partial amount of the information was leaked by Medusa. Kumbaga parang patikim. But do you think there is any connection or what would be the consequences of the PhilHealth data breach and the Medusa ransomware?
Etong sa Medusa, wala pang connection to sa mga natatanggap natin na mga scam and spam. Pinag-iingat lang ang mga tao ngayon, lalo na yung mga members. Be careful when opening emails. Be careful when with messages that you receive from anyone na hindi mo kakilala kasi pwedeng magamit yung mga data natin dito. Ang data kasi nakasama, meron ako listahan dito ng mga data, yung pangalan, pati yung pati yung mga partner na mga hospitals ng PhilHealth, lahat doon yung information. So pwedeng maapektuhan din tong mga kumpanyang to. Oo,
In
ganun.
in what way can they be affected, Art? Kasi
Ah.
parang marami, okay, so sige, nakuha nila yung impormasyon. Alam na nila yung aking vital statistics.
Oo.
Pati ba yung mga medical history, mga ganon, makukuha, and paano ginagamit yon, bro?
Oo, so pwedeng makuha din yung mga medical history kasi nandun nga yung listahan din ng mga hospitals.
Mm.
Magagamit ang meron tatlong bagay na pwedeng mangyari dito. First, in-expose nila yung data. So pag na-expose na nila yung data, wala na tayong magagawa.
Mm.
Pa, gagamitin nila yung data para kumuha ng credit card, para kumuha ng para mag-apply ng mga account sa bangko because they have all the data na kailangan. Nandun yung pangalan, nandun yung lahat, pati address, plus merong mga ID na kasama. So
Mhm.
itong mga information na to ang pwedeng gamitin para makapangutang, pwede na sila mangutang, mag-apply ng mga accounts, gumawa ng social media accounts. So
Mhm.
dapat mag-ingat tayo sa mga bagay na to. Pangatlo, ang pwede nilang gawin dito extortion. Sasabihin, "Oy, nasa akin yung data mo." Kung merong nakuha na information tungkol sa sakit mo, iba-blackmail ka. So extortion ang mangyayari. So ito yung tatlong senaryo na nakikita namin na that could happen with this data that was exposed by the Medusa ransomware group.
Okay, so creating a false identity, then using that false identity or stolen identity to gain access to financial transactions, etc. So, pero pag nag-apply sila, ito okay, tama ka. Kasi may mga kaibigan ako nagsasabi, pare, alam ko ako lang yung ganitong pangalan. Sabi ko, paano mo naman nasigurong ikaw lang ang may ganyang pangalan? Pare, kinreate namin yung pangalan na yun nung bata ako eh. Hindi naman pangkaraniwang pangalan yon. Eh bakit biglang lumabas? Wow, how come my very unique name suddenly showed up on Meta or on Facebook? I've heard two already, and they were like really far out names. And sabi ko, yeah, that's kind of hard to just duplicate, you know?
So pwedeng mangyari 'yun, kasi pag gagawa ka ng account ngayon minsan hinihingan ka na ng ID and
Mm.
creating a bank account now only requires you one ID na lang.
Mhm.
Na nakita namin dun sa in-expose ng Medusa group, merong passport. Yung tao meron siyang company ID, meron pa siyang driver's license na naka-scan dun at meron pang passport. So
Mhm.
with those information, kayang-kaya na talagang gumawa fake accounts o pwede na manakaw yung identity mo. Magtataka ka na lang siguro meron ng bill dadating sa'yo sa bahay mo o meron ng naniningil ng utang sa'yo. Kaya ang
Mhm.
advice ng mga cybersecurity professionals sa industry, dapat kung ano yung mga pinagagamitan mo ng account mo ngayon o ng credit card mo, dapat alam mo, mayroon kang list talaga, hindi yung gamit ka na lang ng gamit. Kasi pag kinontest mo yung charges na yon o pag kinontest mo yung, pag nademanda ka, meron kang proof na hindi ikaw yun ang gumawa ng account na yun.
Parang yung parang yung isang politiko na sinabi she was in one location. Sabi niya, how can that VIP be me when I was in Davao? Okay, so
Oo.
parang ganon,
Alam
okay.
ko may ano ka, may resibo ka. May
Okay,
resibo
yun
na
yung alibi, ika nga
oo,
nila.
oo.
Okay, now, so pwedeng gumawa ng fake credit card account, Meta or Facebook account, etc. Blackmail, have you actually heard of blackmail cases where medical history is used for blackmail?
So it's possible dito possible sila. At isa pang pwede palang gawin dun sa Meta is to recover or to take over your account. Kasi hihingan ng ID, hihingan ka ng Meta pag gusto mong i-take over o i-recover yung account, hihingan ka ng ID.
Hmm.
So with these IDs na kumpleto, pwede mo na ipasa kay Meta yan at pwede ka nang makakuha ng account ng iba. So ito yung danger pag kasama yung data natin dito sa well, unang tingin namin, unang analyze namin parang aabot ng 1 terabyte yung data. So, gaano kalaki yung 1 terabyte? Yung 1 terabyte kung i-convert natin sa text as a 8.5 by 14 yung legal size bond paper. Yung 1 terabyte aabot siya ng around 219,900 legal size bond paper. Ganun kada.
Wow. Now,
Kung i-convert mo sa bond paper yung data na yun, ganun kadami.
okay, you've been analyzing the breach, the extent of the breach, how it was done, etc. Is this a local attack or an international attack? Kasi may nagsasabi, may suspecha daw sila. It could have been an inside job.
This group is an international cybercriminal group. Nabiktima na din nila ang Minneapolis public school system. Nabiktima na nila ang Argentina na transportation system ng Argentina. Nabiktima na nila yung mga malalaking companies. At yung latest victim nila is dito sa atin, yung PhilHealth. So napasok yung PhilHealth because ito ang nakakainis. Expired yung antivirus o expired yung security protection ng PhilHealth nung April pa. Hindi sila nakapag-renew at naiwang expose yung mga data natin.
So,
Pag expire, sinabi mong expire, hindi na yan gumagana sa mga bagong virus signatures o mga bagong virus. Kasi nga wala nang update yung binibigay yung kumpanya mo kasi kumpanya ng antivirus mo kasi expired na yung license. Pinabayaan nila yung April hanggang nung September
5 buwan.
Oo. So ang dami na magagawa nun. Kaya ang duda namin nung mga nag-aaral tungkol dito, baka lagpas 1 buwan na nasa loob yung mga cyber criminals. Ganun na sila katagal doon sa system.
Because it takes that long to download that amount of data.
Oo, ang laki ng data nila. So ang ginawa ng mga cyber criminals, nilagay nila sa Telegram. So hindi lang sa dark web nilagay nila sa Telegram yung messaging app. Naglagay sila ng mga links doon. Nung nag-expire yung ultimatum, yung deadline ng cyber criminals, hindi kagad nila nilagay kasi ang laki nga ng data. So ginawa ng mga to, hinati-hati nila yung file.
Okay. And at the end of the day, hindi naman wala ring saysay, di ba? I mean, they're not getting any money from it, and if you pay them, there are no guarantees that they won't continue holding you hostage.
Tama, oo. So ganun yung tama ang ginawa ng government not to pay these cyber criminals because pag nagbayad ka sa mga to, masasanay ito. So magbibictimize na ulit sila ng mga, well, alam naman natin na mahina ang cybersecurity ng mga kumpanya, including government agencies.
Ito Babe Romualdez, former ambassador to the United States, had said that several months back. He said that as far as his U.S. sources were concerned, many of the government institutions in the Philippines are considered high risks and very vulnerable to cybersecurity or to cybercrime. So, kumbaga, alam na nila yan. Ngayon, how expensive would it have been for PhilHealth to renew their protection, their app?
Siguro mga 2,000 to 3,000 pesos per computer. At marami silang computer habang dumadami yung in-order mong subscription, dapat bumababa yung presyo niyan. So, ang nangyari, dapat ginawa nila auto-update na yung auto-renew yung license nila because the data they're keeping are very sensitive. So dapat nag-auto-renew na nila. Ngayon, ang ginagawa nilang reason, it's the procurement process daw, mahirap.
Correct.
Pilipinas, kaya hindi nila na-renew yung...
Pero yun ba hindi pwedeng gawin ng Pilipino? It's like, I would like to think that there are a lot of brilliant Filipinos in computer programming, app development, who can provide this, or can the national, di ba meron tayong National Computer Center sa UP? Hindi ba pwedeng gawing government agency na yan in the spirit of national security, na wala nang job out, trabaho na ng Pilipinas na to secure this data?
Hindi, ito kasi mga galing sa mga companies talaga na nagpo-provide ng cybersecurity sa mga companies.
Yeah, but can't the Philippines invest on it? Wouldn't it be cheaper?
Wala akong alam na gumagawa ng antivirus na Philippine company. Saka sa mga cybersecurity protection, mga Filipinos yung mga empleyado ng mga companies na to, pero these are
Correct.
foreign companies.
Oh, so siguro kung nagka-shout out or roll call ang Philippine government to all app developers, etc., we are forming this agency. Would you be interested? Baka may mangyari kung mataas ang sweldo.
Ang dami magbo-volunteer. Ito nga sa nangyaring to sa nangyari to sa PhilHealth. Ang dami na volunteer because January nabiktima na sila ng data breach. January pa lang of this year. So maraming nag-volunteer na tutulungan. Dapat kasama sila dun sa parang interagency NCERT, yung NCERT National Cybersecurity, National Computer Emergency Response Team. CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team. Kaso hindi yata sumama. Ang latest information namin, hindi sumama yung PhilHealth sa initiative na to ng DICT saka ng BSP.
Paktaylo. Yan na ang sinasabi natin. Okay. That is already worth every centavo of bothering you today, because hindi namin alam yan na hindi sumama ang PhilHealth dun sa initiative ng DICT for this kind of protection. In any case, Mr. Art Samaniego, as always, may tinuturo kang bago at may na-expose na naman. Na-expose ka na naman. Thank you, Art, and have a good day, and God bless you, sir.
You're always welcome.
Okay, that's Mr. Art Samaniego. He is the cybersecurity advocate and tech editor of the Manila Bulletin, and we will now go for a quick break, and when we return, we talk to the National Privacy Commission, isa pang agency na talagang sumakit ang batok dahil dito sa cyber crime na ito. We will be right back here on Agenda.
The PhilHealth website hackers have reportedly started circulating the data it illegally obtained from the agency and its members. Because of this, PhilHealth urged the public to take extra precautionary measures against potential scams. PhilHealth advised its members to change their online accounts' passwords, enable multi-factor authentication, and avoid responding to suspicious calls, text messages, and emails. That also includes clicking attach unauthorized links. In line with recent developments, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian filed a Senate bill that will protect an institution's information and communication technology system against cybersecurity threats. He also pushed all government agencies and the private sector to improve their defense against online and digital hackers. How can public and private institutions enhance their cybersecurity against hackers after the PhilHealth incident? Let's discuss this on today's agenda.
Attorney Michael Santos has been working at the National Privacy Commission or NPC for 6 years. He started his career in the agency as an executive assistant in 2017. In 2019, he was appointed as the officer in charge of the NPC's Complaints and Investigation Division. He was eventually officially appointed as the division's chief in 2021.
Good morning, Attorney Santos. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sir Cito.
Okay, last I read about the NPC action on the PhilHealth breach. Your agency raised the question, or you were the NPC was asking, was PhilHealth remiss or careless about securing their system? And in our talk with Art Samaniego, apparently they were, because yung kanilang protection expired April, and as early as January of this year they had already been invited by the DICT to participate in an emergency action regarding hacking. Now, what will the NPC do, and who will they go after as a result of these revelations?
Well, yung mga actions ni PhilHealth, whether or not yung security measures are up to par, if those gaps are the reason for the hacking or the main contributor for the hacking, we'll look at the overall security stance of PhilHealth and determine whether or not they failed to implement reasonable and appropriate security measures, or whether that failure could amount to possible negligence. And if so, we'll be looking at the responsibilities of each and every officials in implementing, recommending, authorizing the placement of security measures to protect their databases.
Okay, let's just be clear about this, Attorney. You're the lawyer, I'm not. But let's be clear about it, because you are the National Privacy Commission, and you're protecting the privacy, the information, the data of every Filipino. Now, do you have quasi-judicial power, or do you now go to the ombudsman and ask Justice Martires ba yun, to please file cases against these people for gross negligence?
Well, under the Data Privacy Act of 2012, we do have quasi-judicial powers. So our investigation is what you call motu proprio.
Mm-hmm.
We will hear we will first investigate the circumstances, then lodge a complaint before our commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the power first to levy administrative fines and to recommend possible criminal prosecution before the DOJ.
So you don't go directly to the ombudsman, or the ombudsman can decide on its own. Teka, independent din kami, so we will also file charges against these people.
Yes, that is the case.
Okay. Now, as far as, okay, we're talking specifically about the PhilHealth problem where the Medusa ransomware got so much information as presented by Art Samaniego. Now, what are your observations, findings up to now, and what is worrisome for you?
All in our findings, what is worrisome is that ang dami ng data, over 700 gigabytes. Up to now, we haven't finished combing through the entire data dump. What is alarming at the onset is that contrary to claims, what we found was not just employee data, PhilHealth employee data, we also found members' data, which includes PhilHealth numbers, names, a birth date, and other personal information. We also found other documents, even personal files of employees we found in the dump.
Okay, so having discovered that, or well, it's just confirmation of a claim of the host of the Medusa ransomware group. Now, having discovered that, what can we do to protect Filipinos and in particular PhilHealth members? Do we scrub all the data and require everyone to refile, or is there technology, etc.? What do you recommend?
In order to prevent fraudulent claims, maybe PhilHealth could up their verification system or make it more stringent. Yung mga files that have been included in the dump, that should not be the only parameters to confirm the identity of a claimant. There should be other parameters or other data points that they could check to determine whether or not it is the real claimant or someone pretending to be. So let's be also conscious that or aware that this is not the first time we've been breached, or the data of the Filipino has been breached. No, if we combine the data from this breach and from the previous data breaches, we could be looking at a more detailed data set. And in order to verify the identity of someone, we should go beyond the known data points involved in previous compromises.
Okay, now, so okay, you have this, but the question is this an isolated case? Because you said there have been previous data breaches, there have been break-ins before, computer break-ins, but Babes Romualdez, the former U.S. Philippine ambassador to the U.S., had sound the alarm by saying 90%. I think that's what that was the figure he used. 90% of institutions in the Philippines are vulnerable to cybercrime and to data breach, as PhilHealth has.
There are some studies saying that the Philippines is one of the most targeted country in terms of cyber attack. I think our colleagues from the DICT would have better data. And in terms of, is this an isolated attack? I think all government institutions should be worried that the data they're collecting is a prime target. I would advise extra caution, since the hackers know that the quality of data and the magnitude of personal data that government agencies collect is a treasure trove for their illegal activities.
Okay. Now, what is your response? Because in the front page today of the Philippine Star, DOJ Secretary Boying Remulla said to the Congress, or I think Senate, that the number one tool of bank robbers now are computers and cell phones, not guns and sledgehammers. But the DOJ only has something like 475,000 pesos for their intelligence funds. In a season where intelligence funds have become politically polluted, maligned, etc., what are government agencies supposed to do if they don't have confidential funds, or if Congress itself is already cutting budgets left and right?
Well, we need in the government, we need resources, whether or not it's in the form of confidential funds or regular funds. We need resources in order to perform our mandate effectively and efficiently. Well, I echo the statement of our secretary, our justice secretary, that indeed in this digital economy, the illegal activities also shifted to the cyberspace. No, we seldom hear news now that banks are being robbed at gunpoint. So bank robbery nowadays involves the internet, cell phones, computers, and the perpetrators may not be within our borders, limited to within our borders.
Yeah. So, well, that's true. Okay. Anyway, Attorney, if you would, we'll go for a quick break, just a commercial break. And when we return, let's continue. And I'd like to find out what's happening in your own backyard. What are your activities? What are your plans? We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back. We return here on Agenda with Attorney Michael Santos, Chief of Complaints and Investigation for the National Privacy Commission. Attorney Santos, what exactly is going on at the NPC in terms of these developments? Because I started my conversation with Art Samaniego regarding all of these spams, loan offers, etc. You know, we were supposed to be done with this. Dapat hindi na nangyayari ito because of the SIM card registration, etc., etc. But apparently, none of that has managed to stop the harassment or the irritation.
In terms of yung mga scam, no, we are playing catch up, sadly, as we hope that the SIM card registration would make a significant dent into yung scams. We're finding out that the scammers are shifting their operations away from text, but to calls and to internet messaging platforms where the SIM card registration can do little.
Mhm.
So we're evolving also our strategies with the increasing technology and sophistication of these scammers also.
Okay. Art Samaniego was saying that the NPC has done quite a lot for on going after these online lenders who gain access to address books of their clients and who end up doing shame campaigns. But napansin ko lang, attorney, and I don't know, maybe I'm very old school, but none of it is going to stop until you start showing people in the news being arrested and being charged in court. Meron na ba kayong ginawang ganon, or is it going to be done in the future so that the public really knows that the NPC is having these online lenders doing shame campaign charged and jailed?
Well, nung 2019, we had multiple, I think, if I recall correctly, 26 online lending companies. We had them temporarily banned from processing personal information. In 2021, the commission found, I think, 2 or 3 companies liable for violating data privacy, and we recommended filing cases to the DOJ. Sadly, they are appealing their cases before the Court of Appeals, and it'll probably take some time before we finally see a formal complaint against those companies. But on some aspects, we're also making a dent. We saw that some of the companies, instead of when we send notices to explain to them, instead of replying, we see them packing up. So, or
What about
probably
filing? Sorry, Attorney Mike. What about filing cyber libel charges against these jokers? Because I mean, it is cyber libel. If I read the text that I got last week, ito po, no, good day. If you'll bear with me, no, good day. Kami po ay makikisuyo kay name of the person who borrowed the money, his cell phone number, dahil dinamay kanya dito sa utang niya at siya mismo nagbigay ng personal information at cellphone number mo. Kaya kami ay humihingi ng dispensa. Kung nadamay ka dito, hindi ka namin nais na maabala or maistorbo. Pakisabihan na lang po ang tao na ito na matuto magbayad ng kanyang utang para hindi ka po nadadamay at mapapadalan ng demand letter sa inyong barangay. Maraming salamat po. Now, my point, Attorney Mike, is there's a cell phone number. So presumably, there is an owner of that cell phone number. And this is a libelous statement transmitted through that cell phone number, and therefore we can charge him with cyber libel. Am I right or am I wrong?
tama po, no? That's correct. I observe lang yung text, mabait pa nga yung pagkakasulat niya, no? We've
Mabait
heard
pa.
worse, no? Mabait pa, no? May threat. Well, I agree that this may constitute cybercrime. That's why we're also coordinating, not with the PNP, kasi mandate niya ni PNP, no? Sadly, yung cybercrime, yung cyber libel, is not within the mandate of the Privacy Commission. We're also
Mm.
coordinating with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Actually, we're swapping information with the SEC because this will might also constitute um, uh, illegal collections or unlawful collections practices,
Mhm.
which is
Kasi
under the
ang
SEC.
problema, sabi mo nga, Attorney Mike, no? You said that the minute you start sending them demand letter, they just fold up and disappear.
Mhm.
Parang
Mhm.
let's get out of town. Pero walang takas pag hinabol ka na ng cyber libel.
Yes, that's why we're not just parang ang usapan namin with the other authorities will charge them with the data privacy, and
Mm.
PNP will charge them with the cybercrime, and
Mhm.
SEC will charge them with unfair collections practices, and
Mhm.
maybe go after their licenses if they are licensed, no?
Mhm.
So the commission is aware that alone it can't solve the enormous problem. That's why it must be whole of government approach.
Yeah, I just want to encourage you, no. We're not dumping on you, mga kaibigan. Hindi naman po ito because we want to prosecute, persecute and imprison people, but the reality of Philippine culture is until we see at least 3, 4, 5 situations na ay grabe, ayan no, caller lang siya para doon sa collection agency, siya yung nakasuhan, then people will stop the practice because I think what's happening, and correct me if I'm wrong, dito sa mga messages na ito, the people who send out the text messages aren't necessarily the people who the money was borrowed from. Kumbaga, no, mga employees lang ito or mga collection agents lang.
Yes, yan din yung na-observe natin, no, when we went with the PNP on several raids.
Mhm.
No, hindi lang isa, marami na sila ring na-raid together with NBI also. So nakita natin parang mga call center operation sila, and these are ordinary people. They thought what they're doing is perfectly legal. So when informed that they're violating the law, parang nasashock pa sila eh. Hindi sila
Mhm.
mapaniwala na they're just doing their job. So we've yet to uncover if there are syndicates behind this, or if there's more organized people behind this.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we're going one online lending at a time.
Okay, well, congratulations for all your efforts, Attorney Santos and the National Privacy Commission. Hindi naman po kayo kumukupas, consistent from in every administration. So we wish you all the best. And if you need more exposure in media to inform the public, we are here to support you. Thank you very much, Attorney Mike.
Thank you and good morning po.
Okay, that's Attorney Michael Santos, Chief of Complaints Investigation, National Privacy Commission. Tandaan po nyo, ang sabi ni Attorney Santos, many people are surprised when they are raided and confronted that what they're doing is illegal. Yung pong pag-send ng mga text sa koleksyon na harassment, illegal po yun. Baka akala nyo trabaho lang. Pwede kayong makasuhan ng cyber libel if you are pinpointed. Okay, let's go to our blessing for the week. And it comes from the second book of Samuel, chapter 22, verse 7. In my distress, I called to the Lord. I called out to my God. From his temple, he heard my voice. My cry came to his ears. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, kahit ganitong parang relax lang po ako, I am going through a very stressful situation involving my kanan kamay who is in the hospital. But every hour, I'm calling out to the Lord and He lifts my spirit and walks ahead of me. So, kaya po natin yan, daan natin sa dasal. Thank you for joining us here on Agenda. Please keep it here on One News.